Hi guys, I'm back. Today is, I guess, just going to be a day for making videos for me because I am home. It's too hot to do any sort of physical activity. My parents are not home, so I am stealing their room right now and using their nice, cool ceiling fan, which I couldn't put on as high as I wanted because it interferes with the mic and sounds bad. But still really nice and refreshing. A lot better than my room, and much more comfortable than the basement, which is where I did some of my other videos. So I'm doing right now the Bookalicious Tag, which I just saw on Ras Queen's channel. She just put this video up, and it looked really cool. And I'm like, oh my god, I have to do this right now. It's pretty long, 25 questions, so I'm just going to get right into it. Okay, number one is what percent of books do you get from the library, and what percent do you get elsewhere? It is 0% from the library and 100% from elsewhere. I have not really used the library as a resource except to as research for essays and that sort of thing for school. The last time I actually got a book from the library to read for pleasure was probably in middle school in the school library, since we went there all the time. I love to own and collect books, so the library just does not cut it for me. I don't want to borrow something. I want to own it and have it for life. Okay. Number two is what character would you want to be and why? I don't know if there are really any characters I would want to be that much, except probably some of Jane Austen's heroines. I would probably want to be maybe either Anne Elliot from Persuasion or maybe Elizabeth Bennet. Oh, my phone just went off, sorry. Elizabeth Bennet from Pride and Prejudice, because I love Frederick Wentworth, and Mr. Darcy is not my favorite, but it would be nice to have, be rich and have the £10,000 a year. Unfortunately, I wouldn't really want to go back and live in the Regency area or any time in the past like that. I like now with modern medicine and creature comforts like refrigerators, nice, comfortable, casual clothes, and that air conditioning, even though ours isn't working. Number three is, what is your favorite book from your childhood? Ooh, well, at what age of childhood? Because I had several different favorite books, like, growing up. Some of my earliest ones were Mickey and the Giant, the Foot Book by Dr. Seuss was a favorite. The Babysitter's Club all throughout elementary school. The Forever Angels book series in grade school as well. Then starting in middle school is when I got into Harry Potter, which I still love those books. So, I don't know, there's a lot of those too. Probably the one that I loved for the longest time was maybe Babysitter's Club, because I started reading those in like first grade, and I read them probably until I was in fourth or fifth grade. I don't remember exactly which. Okay. What is your favorite book? So I guess favorite book as of now. I do not have just one favorite book. I cannot do that. I love my Harry Potter series. I love my Jane Austen books, my Bronte books, my Agatha Christie books. It is just way too hard to only pick one. Are you kidding me? So, any one of those. Probably, I'm going to go with Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows as of right now, just because the movie just came out and it reinforced just how much I loved the book. Which book series do you have the most of? Well, probably Harry Potter, even though the series isn't that long. It's 7 books, but then there's the tie-in books, and then I also have multiple copies and different editions of all of the books. So probably would be that one, if you count all of those together. Do you buy used books or use swap.com? I have never heard of swap.com, so no, I don't use that. I do buy used books for old books that I cannot find in print and reasonable prices nowadays. I will buy those. I prefer to have new, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Who is your favorite / hottest guy or girl? In terms of looks, I really don't know, because I never kind of go by someone just saying someone is beautiful in a book, because that's really subjective. This is really hard. Well, in terms of favorite and not hottest, definitely Hermione Granger from the Harry Potter series is one of my favorite characters ever. Hottest guy, well, I love Remus Lupin in Harry Potter, at least in Prisoner of Azkaban, but not for his looks. I wouldn't say he is the hottest. Maybe I would probably, actually, you know what, I think I would go with Henry Tilney from Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen, because he is just such a witty, funny guy that I just fell in love with him in that book. What is your favorite book cover? Well, as I've stated in many other tag videos and stuff like that before, I love Across the Universe by Beth Revis. That is my favorite, and this is tying into number 9 right now. What is your favorite type of book cover? Well, I like book covers that are not too complicated. I like simplicity. I do like details and stuff like that, but mostly I like things that have little surprises in them. That's why I like the Across the Universe cover, because it has the reversible thing going on, and I love the Delirium cover by Lauren Oliver, because it's hiding, you know, the face of the girl, and you can lift it and see it under there. Stuff like that I tend to really like. What was the first book you read? This is really hard. What the first book that I actually read was, I don't think I remember, because I, for the longest time, used to memorize books and then pretend that I was reading them when I was like 3 years old. I didn't learn to read until I was actually probably 6 in first grade. I didn't learn to read in kindergarten. I only knew how to write my name, because we didn't really learn anything there. My first book that I remember reading on my own was the first, well, not even the first one. It was one of the Babysitters Club books. It was called, I think, Stacy's Choice, I want to say, and it wasn't, I don't know what number it was, but I know I had read simpler books, not chapter books, before then. I just quickly moved on to chapter books. I just do not know, sadly. 11. What is your favorite book to movie adaptation? Oh my god, just movie in terms of like a theatrical movie or a TV movie and not a miniseries. This is very, very hard. If I love some of the Harry Potter movies, especially love Order of the Phoenix and Deathly Hallows Part 1. I love the 2005 Pride and Prejudice. I love the 1995 Persuasion. I don't know, if we're talking miniseries, I love a lot of my period drama adaptations, and most recently Game of Thrones, which I just watched in the last 2 days. I can't name just one. When did you start making videos on YouTube? Like a month ago. That's it. I really am new to this. Number 13. Where is the best place to read? Anywhere where I have free time and a book is the best place to read for me, because I will read anywhere if I have the material and I have the time. Have you written your own fan fiction for a book? No, I do not write, sadly. I did used to write some stuff when I was a kid, but that was not about books, and I wouldn't even count as fan fiction, and so no, nothing. Okay, Number 15. If you could only read 3 books for the rest of your life, what would they be? Well, definitely Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows would be one of them. Probably also Persuasion by Jane Austen would be up there because that's another one that I really adore. My next one, I want to name something longer, so it would be something to last me a long time, but I want to say And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie because that is just like such a haunting, thrilling experience. It's just an amazing book. Unfortunately, other than Deathly Hallows, those other 2 books are on the shorter side, so wouldn't be much time taken reading just those for the rest of my life, but whatever. What is the longest book you have read? Well, I don't know exactly. Some of the later Harry Potter books that, were over 800 pages, definitely those would be up there. Some of Fanny Burney's later novels are very long. I don't remember the page counts, but those 2. I just recently read Game of Thrones, but I read it in ebook format, and I don't know the actual page count, but I have seen them at the store, and they're pretty thick. So any of those really would be on the list. If you were to write a book, what would the title be and why? The title would be blank because I would not write a book because I have no creativity and I cannot write or draw. 18. How many books have you read in the last month? Well, if we're talking the month of June, it was 19, and I did a separate video on those. 19. What was the last book you read? Well, I have it with me right here. N or M by Agatha Christie, which I just read this morning. 20. Do you fantasize yourself in books you like? I have done this a lot in Harry Potter. I always thought it would have been cool to be a Hogwarts student. Also, in some of Agatha Christie's novels, like picturing myself in the role of a sleuth, maybe like assisting Poirot or something like that. A little bit I have. 21. What is your favorite bookstore? Is Borders, because that's all there really is by me is Barnes & Noble and Borders. And luckily most of the Borders in my area have not closed, and they offer better discounts than Barnes & Noble, so I'm going to go with them. 22. Hardback or paperback? Well, I like them both for different reasons. I prefer holding a paperback book to read. I think hardbacks look nicer and, they suffer less damage, but they're also more expensive. I don't know. They both have their pros and cons. 23. Do you have more than one copy of the same book? Well, yes, I have several copies of all of the Harry Potter books. And there were a couple too. I think I've gotten rid of all of my other multiple copies. I know I had 2 copies of Holes by Louis Sachar, which I'm not sure how that came about. 2 copies of To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I think that's actually it, those and Harry Potter. 24. Would you rather read about vampires or werewolves? Well, I don't really want to read a story featuring either of those as the main characters after Twilight. I don't know. I'm done with the whole vampire thing. Werewolves, just because it's a little bit different. I'm going to just go with werewolves just to be different. 25. Do you own more than 150 books? If not, would you? Why, yes, I do. And why, yes, I would definitely want to own 150 more. I would want just wall-to-wall books at my house if I had my own house and if I had enough money to buy all of those books. Okay, that was the Bookalicious Tag. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If not, then you're a loser because my videos are awesome.